Hey guys, hope you're all staying safe and well and not too bored during this crazy lockdown time. So we thought we'd do a video today showing how to measure your nails for the press-ons. And now most people do fall into a small, medium or large category. They're pretty standard to be fair, but if you are unsure or concerned, then you can measure them yourself. So we'll do the measuring first, and then we're going to do a little video on what comes with the kit and how to apply them. So I'm using my husband's hands here because I've got nails on already, so not very useful. And if you hear tip-tap-toeing in the background, that's just little Bailey, who you might have seen around the salon. Cute little fluffy dog. Okay, so we're going to try two different methods to measure today, just with what I've got around the house. If you do have a fabric tape measure around the house, then you can measure them easily with that. And what you want to do is you want to do the widest part of the nail. It's usually around here, although Chris does have really weird shaped flat nails, which makes my life really difficult. So let's just imagine we're measuring pretty much from here to here, okay? That's kind of what we're looking for. So if you don't have a fabric tape measure, that's just Bailey in the background. Okay, so we have got rid of Bailey for now, for now being the operative word. So yeah, if you have the fabric tape measure, you're just going to measure the widest part of the nail with that. Really get edge to edge. If not, you can do one of two other things. You could use some sellotape, and you can just literally put it over the nail. And what you're going to do is get right into the edges and just mark it with a little bit of pen, if the pen wants to work. Okay, and then you can take that off, stick it to a piece of paper, and then you can use a ruler or a tape measure to measure how big it is. So there we have about 12 millimeters, and you would just go around and measure like that. So yeah, so you would go around all the fingers and measure them that way and write it down. You can always send us a picture and we can try and sort of guess for you, but at the end of the day, the decision is yours, and we cannot be held responsible for a wrong size being ordered because they are custom made. And if you're super worried and super unsure, you can buy a sizing kit for £3, which will that includes postage, and that includes one nail of each size, so you can be 100% certain that you are ordering the correct size. Now, let's imagine we have ordered our nails, decided what we want, and we've made them. So what we're going to get in the kit is we're going to get our set of nails, and we are going to get two, they are pre-injection swabs, but they are just sort of alcohol swabs, which we're going to use to clean the nail bed. We're going to get an orange stick, which we're going to use as a cuticle pusher, this end here. We're going to get some nail stickies, and we're going to show you how to use them in a little bit. Now, the stickies are for more of a short-term wear. They aren't going to last as long as if you use the nail glue. And oh, I forgot to put the nail glue in, and you're going to get nail glue as well. Now, you are going to get longer wear out of the nail glue. If you want them to last as long as possible, it is really important that you prepare the nail as we advise. If you just simply whack a bit of glue on the tip and stick it to your nail without preparing the nail plate at all, there isn't going to be much longevity in that. Now, you're either going to receive a nail file or a buffer, just depending on when our deliveries arrive, because deliveries are a little bit slower just now, and we are just waiting for a few things to arrive. So I'll show you both doing it with the buffer and the nail file. There really is no difference at all. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make sure our hands are really clean, because our nail plates do have oils and stuff on them, so we want to really clean our hands, make sure all those oils and stuff are removed, because that's going to help the adhesion as well. So Chris has washed his hands. Now what we're going to do is we are going to prepare our nail. Okay, so if you have a nail file, you're just going to very lightly buff. Now this one is a little grittier than the ones that I'm going to send you, but you do want to be quite gentle, and you pretty much just want to take the shine off. So if we take the shine off and just etch a little bit, that's just going to help the nail to stick. Now if you do have mess around the cuticle area, you can push the cuticles back with the orange stick that we're going to provide. If you had nippers and you have excess skin, then obviously that is best, but I know a lot of people don't have them around, and you do need to be careful when you're using them as well. Now you can either use the corner of your sort of nail file to really get rid of any of those little extra skin bits, or just right up to the edge, but do be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself, and you really don't need to go hard or do it too much, it's just to take the shine off. Now if you were doing it with the buffer, it would be exactly the same. The buffer is going to be the same grittiness as the nail file provided, so again you can push your cuticles back and just give them a wee buff. Now if you are provided with, well, to be fair, whatever you're provided with, do be careful, because a brand new nail file and even a brand new buffer can be pretty sharp, so we want to be pretty careful. Now once we've done that, we are going to take, we provided you two so you can do a couple of applications, and in the future if you don't have that, just some sort of hand sanitizer spray, vodka, pretty much anything that's got alcohol in it, just to clean the nails. Well, not anything, not beer or anything like that, but so what we're going to do now is imagine that we've prepared all of the nails. Unfortunately Chris doesn't want a full set, but we're going to give them a really good rub down. So what this is going to do, some people like to do this before they do the buffing, but I prefer to do it after, just so that we're also getting rid of any dust and excess bits. So this will remove any extra bits of oils and stuff from the nails. I'm just going to let that dry for a wee second. Make sure it's all clean. Now you can have, I would probably recommend lining up your tips in the size, in the order in which they're going to be applied, just to make it a bit easier. If we are going to do it with glue, now because these tips are professional, they do have what's called a bit of an apex, so that they are a sort of more natural shape, and that means that there is a bit of a gap to fill inside the tip so that it will sit against your nail. So we do need to put on a relatively good amount of glue, make sure the nails are all dry. So let's just fill this well up, not heaps and heaps of glue, but a relatively good amount. We don't want to obviously spreading out the edges. Now as I said, Chris does have really awkward, completely flat nails with no curve, and obviously the tips are curved, so it is going to be harder to fit. So, coming down with a 45-degree angle, just line it up to the cuticle and press down and hold. And just hold it for a good few seconds. Now my nail glue is a little bit old and a bit gloopy, so it isn't going to dry quite as quickly as your guys will, because yours will be all nice and new. So that's why I'm just holding it for an extra few seconds, nice and firm, pushing it down. Must also add that the bottom of your tips on the inside I will pre-etch, so that means just scratching them up a little bit just so that they stick a little better, just so you guys get good longevity while you aren't able to get to a salon to get your nails done. So there we go, Chris has got a beautiful heart nail. Now unfortunately I don't think I'm going to be able to persuade him to keep them on for a while, but yeah, it would be good, because I'd like to do an experiment to see how long they last, because I have been watching videos on YouTube and things like that that have suggested that people do get a good couple of weeks out of them if they prepare them in this manner. So I would love to do an experiment to see how long they last on him, but can't see it happening. Just quickly guys as well, if you're using the nail glue for the adhesion, because you need to use a relatively good amount, it's not a super thin layer, but as I said, don't go overboard, we don't want it squidging everywhere. But it can take a little bit of time to dry completely, so just sort of sit there for about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and just sort of don't do anything too heavy-handed during that period of time. You don't need to sit like you're waiting for nail polish to dry or anything like that, but just be aware it can take a little bit of time to dry. Don't go too overboard, don't want it too thick, otherwise it might not dry fully. But yeah, so just be careful just during that initial sort of 10-15 minute period of when you've just applied them. So let's do the other method, which is with the stickies. Now with the stickies, you can see that they're all different sizes, and it's kind of simple. You just want to match up the size to your nail. So you can also trim them as well if you need to. So you kind of find the one that matches your nail the best. Now, you can either stick them to the inside of the tip or directly onto your fingernail first. As I said, remember the stickies are more of a temporary wear, maybe a day, maybe two if you're careful. So do bear that in mind. We just wanted to provide you with several different options just depending on what you were looking for. So now the sticky, once you peel it off of here, it's sticky on the underneath, and then you can see that there's a tab, and the tab is you're going to pull the tab off. So press that nice and hard. Pull the tab off when we're ready to stick the nail to it. So it's got sticky on both sides. Okay, so now we'll find our appropriate size nail, and exactly the same, so sort of line it up to the cuticle. Remember, he's got really weird shaped nails. And we're going to just press nice and firm. Always good to try and just use your, a thumb or something over the top just to get a bit of heat, because the heat will always help things adhere a little bit better. And there we go. Beautiful. This has got lovely, lovely nails. Now, if you want to remove the nails, and the nail glue is obviously going to be a little bit harder, and it might be a little bit a case of you just kind of have to wait for them to come off. But the stickies will come off a lot easier. For both cases, they do suggest that you can soak them in a bowl of warm water, especially the stickies, they will just come away. But the nail glue will be a much more long-lasting solution. You should be able to reuse the tips a good few times, and obviously once you run out of the thing of nail glue, this should do you a couple of adhesions anyway, then you could just buy another tube of nail glue. If you are going to reapply the nails, it's really important to make sure that you prepare the nails, your own natural nails, again fully, to make sure that there's no residual glue or sticky on them. And I would also recommend, if you take the tip and the inside could have residual glue in it, if you take your file or your buffer and just try and scratch away the excess bits on the inside, because again, if there's a sort of a build-up of residue, then they might not last quite as long. I think we've kind of covered everything there. We can really do any designs, we can do plain, we can do really, really crazy designs as well. They start at £25, including your postage and the application kit, everything that you need. We're also selling the NAF cuticle oils, and we can pop them into your package. They're £6 as well. Payment is via PayPal or bank transfer. And well, stay safe guys. We can't wait to see what designs you're coming up with. See you later. Hi guys, so we just finished the filming, and Chris thought that you'd probably be able to just rip them off really quite easy, but he is incredibly surprised at how sturdy they both are, especially the one with the nail glue, and he said yeah, you probably rip your nail off, so please be really, really careful. If you do find that they are really, really stuck fast and you've had them on for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, you will probably need to soak them off like you would with your normal express acrylics, which you can use a standard gel removal kit for as well. You just need a bit of acetone and a nail file really. Other thing is, be careful when you're doing activities like changing the bed sheets. #1 activity for losing a nail. So please be careful. And another important point to remember is the longer the set of nails, the less time they're likely to last, because if you imagine, there's less nail to stick onto compared to the amount that's hanging over the end. So yeah, be careful, #1, and be conservative with your length if you do want longevity. The more conservative the length, the better you are going to get amount of time out of them. But yeah, be careful, don't go ripping them off. The nail glue is strong.